Hi. Ever since I first learned the next sutra and those that follow it, it's always seemed to me to be very cool in a particular way. And recently, or last few years, I found a discussion of this sutra or the related sutras in an essay by our most eminent Western grammarian Professor George Cardona concerning this sequence. And it's so much so that I'm going to share it in a little follow up video. But the point is that there's not only something fun about these sutras, but there's a profound significance to them. So I'm going to let you think about what that might be yourselves, and then we'll see what Professor Cardona had to say, and go from there after we've discussed this a bit. So today's sutra is 8282, 93 in Siddhanta Kaumudi. Vakyasya tehe pluta udataha. Vakyasya tehe pluta udataha. Tehe is Shashti of tea. Tehe is Shashti of tea. The full sutra would be Vakyasya Tehe Achaha Sthane Udataha Plutaha Syat. Vakyasya Tehe Achaha Sthane Udataha Plutaha Syat. Now, the achaha here is not an anuvritti. It's enjoined by a specific sutra, achascha. Now, I imagine that not everybody is very familiar with tea here. Um, I imagine that because I went back and looked at the video I did on it about 4 years ago or so, and only 13 or 14 people had watched it, which makes it very hard for anyone to understand what we're actually doing. So I'm going to quickly review that and give you the video number also. And similarly with Achaha, uh, there is a video concerning that, and we're going to briefly review the sutra related to it, because otherwise this doesn't make any sense. So we'll go with that. Now, uh, so starting with T, T, we are concerned with Sutra number 1164 in Ashtadhyayi and 79 in Siddhanta Kaumudi, and video number 32. Video number 32. Achontyadi ti. Achontyadi ti. Achaha antya adi ti. Achaha antya adi ti. Well, what do we make of this? Antya adi, antyadi, antya adi is a bahuvrihi compound, meaning the one whose first is the final, achaha, of the vowels. D is the one whose beginning is the final one, achaha, among the vowels, not achahastane, among the vowels. Well, what does that mean in practical terms? We could call it, it's the last syllable of a word. For instance, And these are good to keep in mind because we'll come back to them in just a couple of minutes. In Rama, is T because the final ach of Rama is Hrasva a. So is T in Rama. In Jagat, At is D because the final of Jagat, the final ach of Jagat is and that is the beginning of the D. So Ut has as its beginning the final vowel of the word. So the beginning of Ut is the final vowel of Jagat, Ut. So there you go, T. Not complicated, but a very fascinating function in the grammar that comes comes up from time to time, and including right now, T. Then the next question we have is Achaha. We were talking about Achaha a moment ago. Achaha. So this is Sutra 1 to 28, 35 in Siddhanta Comedy, and video 43. Video 43. Achascha. Now, the full sutra involves most of the preceding sutra as anuvritti. The preceding sutra, perhaps you will recall, is 1 to 27. Ukalo jrasvadirga plutaha. Ukalo jrasvadirga plutaha. The length of the vowels, ach, with the length ukala, which, as you know, if you saw the video before, is a sandhi of 3 vowel lengths, u. And those are in sequence named Hrasva Dirgha Pluta uh, by thanks to Yatha Sankyam Manudesha Samanam, Yatha Sankyam Manudesha Samanam. 2 lists of equal length are related in ordered pairs. So Hrasva is Hrasva, and Dirgha is Dirgha, and Pluta is Pluta. Also known as Kukutaruta Anukarana Sutra. And if you don't know what that is, you'll find out in the video. So Hrasva, Dirgha, Pluta, and Ach all come into this as anuvritti. The full sutra then is Hrasvaha Dirgaha Plutaha iti, thus Ach Tatra Vitiyate Achaha Cha. That's the sutra. Achascha is Achaha Cha. So Achaha Cha Asti. Wherever Ach is enjoined, Ach iti, with the words Hrasvaha Dirgaha Plutaha, wherever a vowel is enjoined by the words Hrasvaha Dirgaha Plutaha, Achaha Cha. Achaha is also there. The word achaha is also present. Now, this is an exception to another sutra we know well, 1152, which was like the first of what I called the rules of the road for Adesha, and that is alontyasya. The first rule is alontyasya in place of the final one, in place of the final one. Well, why is this an exception? Well, if you go back to what we were just saying about Rama, not a problem, but Jagat uh, is, according to Achascha, the replacement comes in place of the Ach, in place of the Ach, and in Jagat, the Ach, the Rasva of At is not the final one. So in that sense, this is Achascha is an exception to alontyasya. So let's now go back and see what we've got going with vakyasya tehe plut udataha. Vakyasya tehe plut udataha. So vakyasya tehe, shashti of T, and T is the final syllable we can say, comes a pluta udataha. So the full sutra we're saying is vakyasya tehe achahastane, and that achaha comes not in anavarti, as I said, it comes because we are saying pluta. Pluta is coming. So in place of the ach of a T is what that means. Achahastane, it's shashti. In place of the ach of T, and pluta comes, and it's udata. So to put that more coherently, vakyasya tehe pluta udataha. An udata pluta comes in place of the vowel of the T, which ends vakya, and utterance. So sometimes vakyasya is translated as sentence, but for a very meaningful reason, uh, but it's not the best way of saying it, because this refers not just to sentences, which can be in text or in Veda or something. Vakya is utterance. That means it's something spoken. Spoken. That's something different. So, in a spoken phrase, the final vowel of the final word in this utterance is replaced by an udata pluta. Now, we know what a pluta is, it's ukalo drasvadirga plutaha, and we know what udata is, uchayar udataha, nichara udataha, samaharaha swaritaha, uchayar. Okay, so there we go. Now, you may have noticed that this is not actually a complete statement. That's because this is an Adhikara Sutra that continues through to the end of this section of the grammar, which is 8299. So there are 17 or so or variations of this. And we're not going to do all of them, but we will do several, and starting with the next video. So in the meantime, think about what this might signify. What is so special about this and the sutras which follow it? What's such a big deal about a word, about a sutra that doesn't say chandasi or anything like that? It says vakyasya, vakyasya te. The final T of an utterance is replaced by an udata pluta. So instead of Rama, it would be Rama. Instead of Jagat, it would be Jagat, or so. And we'll go from there.